Diane, happy birthday.
Good evening. How y'all doing?
Hello. Hi, Miss Jared.
How you doing, Brenda?
Yes, I'm doing good. Thank you. And yourself?
I'm holding on.
Good.
I'm just holding on.
Right. That's right. I was trying to get Diane to unmute. She must be on the phone. But today is her birthday.
Oh, it is, Diane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
My son's birthday is today also. So that's why I remember.
The 26th?
25th, October 25th.
The day the 25th?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord, my grandsons is when? The day or tomorrow? Jesus. Woo. But my twins were the 22nd. They just turned 54.
Oh,
my niece was the 18th. She just turned 30. My other niece was 11. She turned 44.
Okay.
My great nephews was the 23rd. He just turned 20. Now my grandson's between the 25th or the 26th. And that's just October. I got November to come in.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, my husband's was the 22nd. He's deceased now, but his was October 22nd. My mother-in-law was the 12th.
What?
My granddaughter's the 3rd. We got a lot of Octobers too.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I tell you what, we have a whole lot of them, all of them except for my month, December. I'm the only one in my whole family born in December. Okay. No, I had a great nephew in Texas. Me and him, we were the only two. And when he was in DC, we used to party together, me and him too. Go shopping, everything.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Diane.
Hi there. How y'all doing?
Fine. Happy birthday.
Hey, Brenda. Thank you.
Hi, Dolores.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Diane.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Birthday, Diane. Today?
Yes, today.
Oh, well, you know what? Happy birthday, child of God. Happy birthday, child of God. This is the day we celebrate. Happy birthday, child of God. Jesus loves you, so do we. Jesus loves you, so do we. This is the day we celebrate. Happy birthday, child of God. Yay!
Thank you,
Diane.
thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you. Y'all gonna make me cry. I feel so good.
No, don't cry.
I told you
I
know you.
This is a celebration, Diane.
You I know. Yes.
This is a celebration. We celebrating your day.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I woke up this morning and I said, thank you, God, for your mercy and grace.
There you go.
Let me be here for 76 years.
That's right. That's right.
And when I was talking to God, I didn't feel no pain.
Everybody.
Nothing was wrong.
Hello.
Hello. We hear you.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Thank you. That's all I need to know. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
We're not seeing your face, we're seeing your chest, your yellow chest. So bring the camera down. We can see the face.
Seeing your what?
We can see you.
You can see me, okay.
Yeah, we're talking about the lady that have, and you have iPad.
That's a yellow one.
But you have to change your name because we see the iPad for you.
Yes, hi, this is Alice.
She's on the backyard.
Hey, yes.
Carolyn, you doing it with
Hello?
that background. You stop showing off. We doing it.
That's beautiful.
Hi, ladies.
Thank
How you doing?
Hey,
Hello.
hey.
Hi, Ann.
And
Hi.
Afternoon,
Hi,
everyone.
Diane. Hi, Miss
Afternoon.
Hey.
Amanda. Hi, Miss Dolores.
hi.
Hi, everybody else.
How you
iPad,
doing?
we don't know your name, iPad. What's your name?
Where? Oh, she's
You
yeah,
said iPad.
yeah. The lady with the glasses with the pretty drapes behind her.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but you need to change your name, baby.
Why?
You got the
Because
name
it says
iPad.
iPad and doesn't have your name on there.
Okay, well, how do I do that, please?
Go to the top and pull down your channel, and you'll see a line that says
Participants?
Yes.
yeah, participants. Hit
Tap
on
on
that,
Okay.
and when you hit on that, you should see your name. Your name will say iPad and me. You need to change your name.
Tap on that.
All right.
Okay, so you hit on it, right, Miss Brenda?
Yeah.
It in me.
Hello.
Okay.
Somebody has on a TV and you're disturbing everybody. Cannot hear. Thank you.
Everybody like that background. That's outside.
Okay, you hit on the iPod name.
Even my pastor said she liked it too. Thank you. How you doing?
And when you hit on
the
that,
telephone,
Yeah.
whoever the telephone,
somebody's
you
on
need
the
to mute yourself.
telephone. We don't need to know your private business.
And it's 10 Mr. One. They're trying to get the lady rename her.
Okay, then when you push it down, oh,
Yeah,
you
Miss
did
Daniel.
it. Good.
Yeah, Pamela has
Yeah,
it.
yeah, Miss Pamela.
Okay,
Go ahead, girl.
Go ahead.
Let me see.
Brenda, I got that package.
Oh,
Yes,
good.
that's me. Can you hear?
All right. I'm glad.
Can
Go
you hear me
ahead and
and
work
see
on
me?
it, girl.
And
Get
Miss
your
Pamela,
paperwork
you
in,
did
Lord.
it. And look,
Thank
and
you.
the dummy in the class told her how to do it too.
No, you ain't the dumber. You see, we kept quiet and let you walk her through.
Thank you both, ladies.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Love you
Hello.
all. Hugs and kisses.
Well, thank you. I need a
Back
hug and
at you,
kiss
Kim.
today.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta walk me through that. Hey, hi Sylvia. I'm fine. How's everybody? Okay.
Oh boy.
Good. Anybody heard anything more about what's his name?
Somebody talking and we can hear it, so you need to mute.
Let me see who.
Okay.
Miss Bodie, you got a TV on or something. And if Teresa here, she gonna mute everybody.
I'm telling you.
I think she on the phone.
Yeah. Okay, that is
Yeah, she gonna mute us all if you got background noise.
Who is it that's talking?
I can't tell who's talking on the telephone.
Let me see.
They stopped now. It was Miss Bodie.
Good.
Oh.
Okay. They don't mute us all.
Yeah, when she get in here and start. Well, today is Tuesday. It's not a class.
No, it's not a class. It's the district attorney.
Oh, okay.
I gotta tell you all about an experience.
Go
They
ahead.
got a scam with the Publishers Clearinghouse.
The what house?
The Publishers Clearinghouse. And they called me and I got to think, well, I got kind of excited when the Publishers Clearinghouse talking about they're gonna give me $8,000 a week.
Yeah.
So then I got to thinking the man was questioning, and I said, they don't call anybody.
No, they come to your house with
so,
flowers and a big check.
Yeah. So I called Publishers Clearinghouse, and well, I don't know what they do when they give you the $7,000 a week or $8,000 a week, whatever it is. So I called Publishers Clearinghouse, and she said, no, ma'am, that's a scam. And she said, would you please report that to your district attorney? So I'm going to tell him I reported it to his office. Whoever answered the phone didn't seem that interested. But anyhow, I did call the Office of Aging. And when I went to my church, Father put it in the bulletin. And if they wanted to know the whole story, they could give me a call. But I did talk to the Office of Aging. I reported it to the police. And they wanted to they said, ma'am, you didn't give them any money. I said, no. I said, I might be crippled, but I ain't stupid. Mama's brain is still operating.
Go ahead. That's right. That's what I'm talking
Hi,
about.
Miss Alice.
Hi, I just wanted to tell you all, that's a very good story to tell the Office of the Attorney Generals. They'll be on in probably by 1 o'clock. You're going to have Christine Gephardt, and tell them about it. So how are you all doing?
I tried to tell them before, but whoever answered the phone at the office of the district attorney didn't seem too interested. But the FCC was very interested.
Well, let OAG know today, and let them know that you called their office and no one was interested.
I mean,
that's the whole point. That's the whole point in bringing them on. Let them know.
Miss Alice, I had that in mind. That's what I got written down here.
Yes, ma'am.
But I had that in mind because I felt that the seniors are always getting messed over with all these I don't know what they think they need to meet us on this iPad lesson, because ain't nobody on here senile crazy.
No, got that right.
No. But they think everybody over 65 or 70 has lost their mind.
But you know what, Miss Ann, that's what they do. They target the seniors. They get over on the seniors.
The reason why they come after the seniors is because you all actually have more than anyone else. And everybody knows this.
Right.
That's very true.
So that's why.
You're an easy target. You have more money in the bank. You have
more money in the bank.
I wish they
more
told
credit
me.
cards, more property. So that's why.
Yes.
That's why you're an easy target.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Mr.
And they
Reese,
think you're a little gullible.
They think you're gullible, but it was frightening because he kept insisting. But I said, I'm gonna play with this mother. Excuse me. But I tried to get him to get over here, but he wouldn't. He wanted me to get a what kind of card? It wasn't a gift card. It was some kind of money card. I had never even heard of it. But I found out that with the 7-Eleven sells it, and so I could get my registration, and evidently that would have gone to him. And I told him I couldn't because my aide wasn't here and I couldn't walk. And he kept telling me my address. So I told him, because I had the police on the 6th district on the phone. And but he didn't play with it. He told me he called me back and he didn't. So I think he must have thought that I had caught it up with him and was setting him up.
Look, I got a text at 2:20 a.m. and it say, hi, I'm Vincent. I'm writing to let you know that I have an opening for a personal assistant who will potentially earn $1,000 weekly. Email the best way to reach me. And he got an email number down here, vincentpout977@gmail.com. And
I got that the other day.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
2:20 in the morning.
Good evening.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So they sending all kinds of little scams, and I don't know how they get your phone number, but
I
they
don't
sure
either.
it to me.
You know what?
Well, I
When they
guess mine is on my check, so I guess maybe it's somebody that's working
Hey,
for.
folks, it's 1 o'clock. It's 1
Oh,
o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
Everyone. Hello.
Hi.
This is Teresa.
Hello.
And again, we're privileged to have Alice Thompson on board with us.
Hi.
Hi, Miss
And
Alice.
right. And who are we expecting today?
You're expecting the Office of the Attorney General today, and they're going to talk about scams and especially what the young lady was saying before us.
Ann
Ann,
Dennis.
can you kind of pull your head up a little bit? Yeah, Ann. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Ann.
So
So I want to make sure that you tell them.
Is
Okay.
attorney on board? I'm not seeing.
You don't see them yet?
Nope, don't see them yet. What name should I be looking for?
Christine Gephardt, Gephardt.
Hi.
You're here. Hey, Christine.
Hey,
Hi. I had to find the passcode. I wasn't sure. So.
Number 2.
Okay, I'd like to introduce Christine Gephardt. Everyone, please mute your device. Let's allow Christine to talk with us. Now, Christine, how would you like your questions?
They can be, you mean like at the end or?
Oh, it's up to you. You can determine when you'd like to answer questions.
I prefer at the end. That would probably be best. Yeah.
Okay, so do you need to share your screen, Christine?
I do.
Okay, so I need to give you a full permission then to do that. I need to find you on this list, and to do so, the list is long. So there you go. I found you. So I'm going to make you co-host. That way you can share your screen.
Let me do that now. Let's see.
And while we're waiting, please mute your devices, turn off all of your background noise, because in the event that we don't get that cooperation, guess what we do? Mute everyone. Okay? So please cooperate. We really do appreciate that.
Okay, give me 1 second here. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's start this from the beginning. Slideshow. Okay, can everybody see the screen?
Yep.
It says financial exploitations of elders and vulnerable adults. Okay. All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here today. I am Chrissy Gephardt. I'm an Assistant Attorney General from the DC Office of the Attorney General. I work in the Elder Justice section. We prosecute basically crimes, either both civilly and criminally, perpetrators against the elderly and vulnerable adults. Now, an elderly person under our statute is considered somebody who is 65 years of age and older. And a person who is a vulnerable adult is somebody who has a disability that substantially impairs their ability to meet their activities of daily living. And that can include anybody 18 years or older. So that's just a little brief background about what my office does. So we're going to talk today about what financial exploitation of elders and vulnerable adults is, what is my office doing to protect vulnerable people, and what can I do to protect myself and the ones I love. So the reason financial exploitation of elders is so rampant is because seniors hold 70% of the nation's wealth. Seniors have spent a lifetime accruing their wealth. They have their 401k, their pensions. And so they're the perfect targets because they have money. In fact, the estimated annual loss ranges from 2.9 billion to, let's see, I apologize. Let me go back. I'm trying to, okay, I apologize. There are more than 85,000 residents in the district, age 65 years and older, and 1 in 10 seniors in the district has experienced some form of abuse. Now, how prevalent is elder abuse in the district? As you can see from this chart, financial abuse is the most common form of abuse. A lot of people think it's physical or sexual or criminal negligence, but in fact, financial exploitation is the most common form of abuse. Oh, so this is an interesting slide. I think it's significant because it shows how prevalent elder abuse is. So it says that basically we know that for every one case of financial exploitation that is reported, there are 43 cases that never come to light. And there's many reasons for this. Oftentimes the perpetrator is somebody that they know. It could be a family member or a friend. It could be other parts of the family, and someone might feel that they won't believe them if they bring the fact that somebody's exploiting them to light. The other thing is that people don't know what's in their bank accounts. So they don't, especially with elders, they may not have, online access to their bank records, or they're not reading their bank statements. And so the reason it doesn't come to light is just that they don't know it. The other reason it's underreported is because they don't want, oftentimes elders and people who are vulnerable don't want their independence taken away. So if you report that you've been financially exploited, then the fear is that somebody will take over your bank accounts and, do all your banking for you. And you just want to be independent and you want to manage your own finances. And the other reason that people often underreport is they don't want to get a family member in trouble. So if you know your grandchild is exploiting you, or a parent or whatnot, you don't want to get them in trouble. You don't want them to go to jail. You don't want them to, have a lawsuit against them. And so oftentimes people will hide it because they don't want to get their family in trouble. So what does financial exploitation look like? Well, it can take many different forms, as you can see here. It could be cashing a check without somebody's permission or authorization. It could be forging their signature on a legal document. It could just be misusing or stealing money or possessions. It can also be coercing somebody or deceiving somebody to take their money. Abusing a power of attorney or guardianship, as we like to say, just because you're a conservator of a guardian or a guardian doesn't mean you have a license to steal. And then of course there are fraud and scams, which we will get into later. And that's typically by strangers, telemarketers, people who call, and we're going to get into some of that a little bit later. So what are some of the signs of financial exploitation? Usually there's a sudden change in someone's bank account. So all of a sudden it goes from, $10,000 down to, $200. And obviously there's a red flag there. There's something going on. There can be a new name on an elder's bank signature card. So all of a sudden there's a co-owner, a joint owner of a bank account and the elder doesn't even know that the person has added themselves to their account. It can be unpaid bills. All of a sudden the elder is not paying their bills. And perhaps that's because they don't have money in their account. Another thing that often happens is an uninvolved relative will come into an elder person's life and claim their rights to an elder's affairs and possessions. I've often seen in the work I do, people who will come in and add their name to the title of an elder's house thinking, oh, they're going to pass away soon. They're not going to know it. I'm going to forge these documents. And then once he or she passes away, the house is mine. That is illegal. That is not permitted. And obviously forging documents is a crime. And then of course, sudden transfer of assets to family members or someone outside the family. So all of a sudden, again, a title to someone's home, other types of property is transferred to somebody who doesn't normally get money from this elder person, or somebody they don't even know. So these are obviously red flags. And then of course, there's changes in lifestyle. Perhaps, the elder spends money on going out to dinner or buying things for themselves. And then all of a sudden, they're not buying things, they're not going out. And so even though they may not be admitting or talking about the fact that they've been taken advantage of, it becomes apparent because suddenly they just don't have the money to maintain their lifestyle. So who commits financial exploitation? We have on this list here partners, spouses, doctors, contractors, home health aides, a daughter, a church member, a family member. These are all people who you would think would not commit financial exploitation. But the problem is it could be anyone. It could be any one of these people. So it's not just telemarketers or strangers, which is what we often think of the perpetrators of crimes. It can be all the people on this list. It can also be family lawyers, conservators, guardians, a doctor, an accountant, any person of trust in an elderly person's life that can access the elderly or vulnerable adult's bank account, checkbook, or the title to their home or any other important financial documents. These are just examples of how oftentimes the people that you think are closest to you or that are in a position of trust can take advantage of you. The bottom line is that anyone who has knowledge about your financial situation is in a position where they can take advantage of that information and be a financial exploiter. So how does the District of Columbia define financial exploitation? Essentially, what the statute says is that it's using deception, intimidation, or undue influence to use an elder or vulnerable adult's money or property for someone else's benefit. So for example, to put it in plain language, it would be using someone's debit card to pay for someone else's vacation. It's also getting an elder or a vulnerable adult to enter into a legal obligation for somebody else's benefit. And again, to put that into sort of a plain language situation, that would be getting an elder to co-sign on a student loan and or to buy a car. So therefore, that person is taking on a loan, a legal obligation that they did not anticipate and they did not want. It's very common that we see that. In fact, we had a case recently where a grandchild took his grandfather to the dealership, and he took his grandfather's driver's license. He went into the back with the sales agent, signed some papers, forged his grandfather's signature, and the grandfather was sitting out in the waiting room, had no idea what was going on. And before you knew it, he was the owner of a new car without his knowledge. And of course, the grandson ran off with the car and then did not speak to his grandfather again. And then it's also violating other laws to get access to money or property for someone else's benefit. So this could be theft, forgery, identity theft. These are just basic, crimes that people can use to get money. So I mentioned, and let me just go back about talking about undue influence. What is undue influence? So undue influence is sort of a psychological phenomenon. It's mental, emotional, or physical coercion that overcomes the free will or the judgment of a vulnerable adult or elderly person. And it causes a vulnerable adult or elderly person to act in a manner that is inconsistent with his or her financial, emotional, mental, or physical well-being. So we often see this where an elderly person or a vulnerable adult will be giving away money voluntarily, or what appears to be voluntarily, to somebody, but that individual is putting pressure on them, sort of, and making them think you want to give me money, but really they're doing it against their will. And so these are difficult cases because like I said, it can appear that they're voluntarily giving them their money, but there's that psychological dynamic going on behind the scene where this person is manipulating them and convincing them that they need to give their money away. So what does my office do? So when we get a case, we do some investigation and we figure out if it's a case that we can assist with. Some of the cases we resolve informally, like we speak to the parties and come to some sort of a resolution. And those are the cases that we can resolve without going to court. When we do file a lawsuit in court, we can ask that the money or the property that was taken be returned. That's called restitution. Return to the elder or vulnerable adult. We can also ask for injunctions. Injunctions are court orders that say that the person can no longer act in a certain way. that they cannot no longer financially exploit a victim. So like stay away orders and things like that. We can revoke professional licenses. So for example, if somebody's a home health aide and that's how they got access to the senior or the vulnerable adults finances, we can ask the court to revoke their home health aide license. We can also get up to $10,000 in civil penalties per violation. So for example, if you have somebody who uses grandma or grandpa's credit card without their knowledge, and they make 10 charges onto the onto their credit card, well, that would be, I'm having trouble with the math here for a second. So that would be $100,000. That would be $100,000 fine. Now, we don't oftentimes would do a $100,000 fine for, something like 10 charges on a credit card, but just to let you know, that is something we are allowed to do. But oftentimes what we'll do is we reduce it when we go to court, but we still ask for penalties. And this is basically to punish people, to prevent actions like this from happening in the future. And then my section does civil cases, meaning we go after money. Like I mentioned, if you look up at the list here, injunctions, revocation of licenses. We don't do criminal cases, but we do have another section in our office that does criminal cases. And in that case, they can, put people in jail. They can do stay away orders. They can, put them on probation, things like that. So I just wanted to give you a few examples of some of the cases that we've had. Let's see here. So we had a daughter who was using her mother's Social Security income for her personal benefit. So she allegedly stole from her 87-year-old mother, a district resident who was suffering from schizophrenia, chronic kidney disease, and major depressive disorder. So a court found her mother incapacitated and not able to handle her own financial affairs. And once that happened, the daughter began to use her mother's Social Security income for her personal benefit. Notably, the daughter withdrew over $3,000 in cash without her mother's knowledge and spent over $500 in hotels. And so we went after the daughter, and we were able to ask for that money back. And we also imposed civil penalties. Another case that we had was a son deceiving his legally blind mother into signing a power of attorney to take the title of her home. We filed a suit against this man who presented his 82-year-old legally blind mother with a power of attorney document to sign while she was confined in her hospital bed. And unbeknownst to her, the documents enabled her son to take title of her house, assessed at $225,880. And in addition to receiving and controlling his mother's pension, the defendant, he didn't make any of the payments to her long-term care facilities. So his mother was left not only with her home being taken away, but with over $16,000 past due to the nursing facility. We had another case of a home health aide who was using the debit card of a client with dementia to obtain money for personal purchases and cash back at CVS. So what she would do, she would go to CVS, she'd pick up medication, she'd pick up other types of items for the elderly man. And when she went to check out, you know how they ask, do you want cash back? She would ask for cash back. And so a transaction that should have been $15 ended up being $55 from the money she got from the cash back. And this was a criminal trial, which resulted in a guilty verdict. She was ordered to pay restitution for the money she took. And then she's also now barred from working as a home health aide. And then most important, she also has a criminal conviction on her record. And here's another criminal case that we had. There were two bank employees, I believe it was SunTrust Bank. They visited an 80-year-old client after hours. She was a woman who had a lot of money, and they obtained $80,000 from her accounts. So essentially, she believed that these bank employees were helping her, that they were moving money between her accounts, but in reality, they were taking her money for themselves. And so basically what they did is once we got their financial records, we subpoenaed their records, we found out that they were using the money for extravagant trips and personal purchases. I want to talk now about some scams, common scams that we often see. And these are things to be just aware of, because I'm sure some of you have already been, approached by somebody or called by somebody who has tried to scam you. And I just want to bring these to your attention so that you're prepared if somebody approaches you. Typically, these are done by strangers or people who make it their mission to prey on the elderly and people who are vulnerable. These are cases we get a lot of referrals on, so I'd like to make sure that we're educating the community. And some seem like some of these, when you hear about them, they're going to seem really far-fetched, like who would ever fall for that? But lots of people are falling for it. And so we want to spread this information far and wide. So let's start with we're going to jump down to impersonation scams. Impersonation scams come in different flavors, but the most common, I think, are people posing as the IRS or Social Security. In fact, I recently got a text alleging from the IRS that I needed to call them because I owe them money and I will go to jail if I don't call them. I did not return the call. So essentially, the thing to keep in mind here is that the IRS and Social Security Administration will never, ever call you. They will never ask you for your bank account information, and they will never ask you to send money over the phone. So if you get a call and someone's pretending to be an IRS agent, it's a scam. The IRS, when they communicate with taxpayers, they communicate via mail. So anything over the phone is a scam. And oftentimes, what's so tricky about it as well is that you'll see on your caller ID, they change the caller ID so it says Internal Revenue Service or Social Security Administration, so that you think, oh, this is really the IRS calling me. So they've gone so far as to manipulate how they appear on someone's caller ID. Let's go down to home and roof repair. So these are very common, and you probably have all experienced something like this. So basically, like someone knocks on your door, they say they're doing tree work or doing roofing work in the neighborhood, and they said that they noticed you could use some work. They've got a special. If you pay now, you get half price off. So the rule of thumb is never work with somebody who comes and knocks on your door. I'm sure they're not all trying to scam you, but if you want work done, you should find a company on your own to work with. So ask your friends, ask family, say, who would you recommend? But you don't want to just go with a stranger that comes with your door. Another scam that we see often is sweetheart and romance scams. They're actually one of the most common scams that we see. And I just want to talk a little bit about what they are and how to identify them. First, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's some sort of an intimate relationship, because it can be an online relationship. It's simply just some sort of relationship that is used as a basis for asking for money. And so basically what happens is this individual, the perpetrator, will befriend somebody who is elderly or vulnerable, and they claim, sort of like an online dating, online messaging, flattering the elderly person. Oh, I love you. You're so important to me. And they at some point say, oh, I really need some money. If you really could help me out, that'd be great. Well, because now they've got you in their web, a lot of times an individual will end up sending them money, sending them gift cards, sending them things like that. So that's something to always be wary of. And what we oftentimes will see is that you'll see like a younger person, like a younger woman, will befriend an older man in the neighborhood. And suddenly she shows up to befriend this gentleman. Perhaps he's a widower. And they say she sort of works her way into the relationship and ends up putting herself on the title to his house. And then of course, once they get your money, you've been duped and you're probably not going to get it back, especially if it's an online thing and you don't even really know who the person is. Grandparent scam, this is a common one. Usually this is a phone call. It's somebody who's panicked and they pretend to be the grandchild they're lost, they're stuck overseas, they're in jail, or maybe it's a fake law enforcement officer calling and saying that they have your grandchild locked up. You're at the police station, we really need your help. You know, if you want to help your grandson, you got to give money. If you give me $5,000 now, we won't have to book them. Or I need $5,000 for airfare back home. And the interesting things about the grandparent scams is, you know, you think, well, how could somebody get a phone call from a grandchild and not recognize that it's their grandchild's voice? But apparently it happens a lot, especially if someone's in a panic state. You know, the grandparent, because they're, you know, they love their grandchild, will do anything to help them. And unfortunately, people prey on the elderly and do these kinds of scams. Let's see, there's the foreign lottery scams. We all have heard about, you know, you won the lottery in Jamaica or something like that. Well, foreign lotteries, first of all, they're illegal. And second of all, they're scams. So you will never be able to win a foreign lottery because you can't. So basically what happens is they say you've won, but you have to pay your taxes up front, or you're sent a check that you're supposed to deposit in your account as your first lump sum of winnings. But then in return, you need to send some back to pay your taxes. Those checks are phony, they bounce, and they don't bounce in time for you to have withdrawn the cash and sent it away. So usually you've already sent the money away by the time you've been able to cash the check. The bottom line, don't trust sweepstakes or lotteries. If you get an email or a phone call, there's probably a scam. Do not answer and don't send money. Tech support scams are also very common. This is a person who will email or mail or even call the elder with news that their computer has a virus and they need special software to remove it from their computer. They then ask for access to their computer, and then from there, they're able to get into their personal banking account, steal money from their account. This sometimes will happen where perpetrators are overseas. Federal law enforcement may be able to do something in these cases, but the chances of getting the money back are very, very slim. So again, always be wary if someone says, oh, you have a virus on your computer, you know, we need to fix it. Let's go back up to COVID scams. Whenever you see some sort of a health crisis or really any natural disaster or any crisis, it's the prime time for scammers and fraudsters to take advantage of people's fear of misinformation that's being circulated. And that's what we see with COVID, from phony tests, phony cures, phony treatments, to tricks about stimulus packages or the stimulus checks not being received. And they may be asking for charity donations when they're not really a charity. So just be wary if someone's trying to tell you something about, you know, oh, you know, did you get your stimulus check, or oh, give money for COVID victims. Just be wary of it. And, you know, again, not everybody is out to scam you. So, you know, it's terrible to say, don't do any of this stuff, but it's just to be, you know, it's always a good idea to be extra cautious. And so, as I said, the COVID scam and then the charity scam, like I just mentioned, those are two other very, very common scams. Let's see. So I guess, okay. So I guess if we go back and look at these individual slides, just remember, don't share personal information or banking information with callers. Be cautious about anyone asking for personal information. Don't click on links in emails. And real charities won't ask you for gift cards or mail cash, or should not use high pressure tactics. We went through these. So how do you avoid being a victim of exploitation and scams? The best thing to do is always seek the advice of a trusted family member or a friend before giving out personal information online, over the phone, or in person. So if you feel like something sounds fishy, check it out with a friend, a family member, and say, hey, what do you think about this? Do you think this is real? And you know, like everything in life, it seems too good to be true. It probably is. Don't feel panicked or pressured. A lot of the times, one of the tactics that scammers will use is they will say, this deal is only lasting for the next hour. If you don't do it within the next hour, you're going to lose out on this great opportunity. So don't feel panic or pressure. And if you do feel like you're being panicked or pressured, again, your antenna should go up that possibly this is a scam. Call a family member, a friend, or a neighbor if you need help with errands. Be vigilant and cautious if a stranger knocks on your door, offering to pick up groceries, prescriptions, or other goods. And then be suspicious of any request to wire funds or send cash or gift cards to somebody. That's another scam that we see often. Someone will say, hey, just send me gift cards. And so people go out and they buy these gift cards and they send them to the perpetrators. The gift cards is always a sort of a red flag of a scam. And then, of course, as we mentioned before with the text scams, don't click on links or attachments in emails or on the internet. We never know which ones are real and which ones aren't. So if you think you've been a victim of financial exploitation, or you feel like a family member or a friend has been a victim, the first thing to do actually is to call Metropolitan Police Department. And that the number is 202-265-9100. The next best thing you can do is call Adult Protective Services, which we call APS, and they have a 24 hotline, and that is 202-541-3950. Adult Protective Services is an agency within the district government that protects the elderly and vulnerable adults who have been victims of not just financial exploitation, but all kinds of abuse. And so they respond to allegations of self-neglect, physical abuse, sexual abuse, all kinds of things like that. And then, of course, you can always contact my section, the Elder Justice section, at 202. This is our hotline number, 202-727-3807. Or you can email us at elderjustice@dc.gov. So that's essentially my presentation here today. If you have any questions and answers, please ask them. And I really appreciate you all joining me here today. Thank you so much.
Okay, Christine, thank you. I will begin taking questions based on the digital hand, raised hand, sequentially. I'll begin with Ann Dennis. Your hand is raised. Please unmute and ask your question. Unmute, Ann.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, hi.
I don't know why the thing wouldn't, my microphone wouldn't unmute. That's what happened the other day. First of all, Miss, is that Gephardt?
Gephardt,
Okay. I would like to inform you about the Publishers Clearinghouse scandal now. Okay. They're calling people, and of course, when you're a senior citizen and things are going up and up and up, and they try to get money, telling they could give you money, and of course you get a little excited. But then the more the man talked, he kind of made me suspicious. And he said he had to come over, but he had to give me a registration number, and I had to get a card at the I forget the name of the card. I got it written down, but I can't find that paper. I have it written on. But anyhow, I called Publishers Clearinghouse because I've never heard of anybody getting a prize that says they call and you have to pay a deposit or whatever. So the lady thanked me very much, and they gave I talked with their fraud, and they thanked me and they asked me to report it to the police. I did report it to the police and the Office of Aging and the
FBI.
Yeah, the FBI. They didn't seem to interest. I tried to call your office. The person that I talked to in your office, in the district attorney's office, said you didn't handle that type of thing. And I said, I thought you had an office that dealt with elders being swindled. And he said, well, were you swindled? I said, no, but it's a possibility. I've got some phone numbers and a name. And I said, it's a possibility that maybe you could investigate this person. And he said, well, if you didn't give him any money, he said, we don't have a case. And he hung up. So I said, disappointing.
Well, so I'm sorry to hear that you didn't get anywhere with that. I would be curious to know if you called my office or if you called the Office of the U.S. Attorney, because, you know, we're two different agencies. The U.S. Attorney does, go ahead.
I called the District Attorney of Washington, D.C.'s office.
Okay. Well, you know what? Why don't you, you can call our number. In fact, I'm putting these up right now. So that's the number for Adult Protect. I'm putting these in the chat. So Adult Protective Services, our EJS hotline is 202-727-3807. And now just keep in mind that, you know, we welcome all and any calls reporting any type of fraud or instances of potential financial exploitation. It doesn't always necessarily mean that my office can do every kind of case, especially cases like Publishers Clearinghouse, these sweepstakes scams, lottery scams, because oftentimes the people who are doing these are sometimes out of the country. They're either that or they're in other states. It's very difficult for my office to prosecute those cases because we only have jurisdiction over the district. So usually the entity that investigates those is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So the FBI is probably the best person, or excuse me, the best agency to deal with that. Again, that doesn't mean you shouldn't call my office. You should always call. We can talk to you about it. We can sort of give you the best solution as to how we think you could pursue it. But again, I'm sorry to hear that, but if you'll just give us another chance, call the number 202-727-3807, which is our hotline, or email us. It's elderjustice@dc.gov, and we'll take another look at it and see if there's anything that we can do.
Thank you.
Okay, and yes, because I did call the Office of Aging, and I called
Oops. I don't know what happened there. Okay, let's go to Brenda McManus. Go ahead, Brenda.
Yes, Ms. Gephardt, this information is very informative.
Oh, good.
And I appreciate all of it. Now, I've been a victim of one of those scams that happened to me like over 10 years ago. A person came to my door from Pepco, you know, telling me that I can get another energy supplier with a lower rate. So I went with it, and it took me about 3 months to get rid of that company because I got a bill and it was so high. It was much more than my Pepco bill.
Really?
So after that happened to me, my antenna stays up. So I've been they tried to call me with the grandparent thing. I got a call from a gentleman. He said, "This is your grandson." And my grandson at the time was only 7 years old. And this was a man.
Oh, gosh.
So
oh my.
I'm very aware of a lot of these scams, but what gets me now is I get a lot of calls from these different companies saying they're representing senior benefits for Medicare. Do you have Part A, Part B? Yes. How old are you? And I mean, I've gotten over 100 calls
Really?
in the last few months about that. And one person I confronted and I said, well, what makes your plan different from any of the others? And they're all calling about the same thing. So that's another scam that
right. No, very, very good to be aware of that. And because like you said, if you want to change your Medicare plan, that's something you could do on your own and you do proactively as opposed to somebody calling you.
Yes.
So those are good things to inform the rest of the audience here. Thank you for sharing.
Yes. And thank you for this presentation. Very informative.
Oh, good. I'm so happy to hear that.
Thank you, Brenda. Yvonne Golden, go ahead, take the mic.
Thank you very much. During the summer, I applied for unemployment benefits. I'm an intermittent worker for FEMA. I'm at home now. When I'm at home, they don't pay me. And if I've been out, I was out for quite a while, so I was eligible for unemployment. Now, when I applied for unemployment, they hacked my account. Hackers hacked my account. They changed my address. They changed my phone number. They changed the way that unemployment paid me. Unemployment get credited to the hackers a month of my benefits.
Oh, really?
They've only reimbursed me 2 weeks of that. And it's been since August. I have been calling everybody I can think of for unemployment to reimburse me those last benefits. They know that I've been hacked. I've been at the Minnesota office 9 times. 9 times. And they just seems like I even contact Congresswoman North about it. I just contact the mayor's office about it. I can't get the unemployment department to give me my last 2 weeks.
Did they explain to you why they can't give it to you? I mean, do they?
I've talked to the people in the fraud department, God knows how many times. It seems that the office on Minnesota Avenue, so many accounts have been hacked that we have our own little section. If they send us to the back of the room when we first comes in, the whole row is people that has been hacked.
You know, I'm wondering if it's more of a bank fraud type thing, and maybe they don't have the resources to, you know, I don't know, investigate. But like you said, if that. But you know, even if, even if you didn't, I guess what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't explain why they don't then give you the 2 weeks that you're owed.
Right. And also too, the hackers hacked my work phone, my FEMA phone, and that is Homeland Security.
Oh, wow.
They called the contacts. They used my contact list. And they called the contacts, and like the previous lady said, they was calling the people on my contact list stating that they're a friend of mine. I was in the hospital and I hurt my leg badly, and they want to help me with my hospital bills. So if the people could give them get a Amazon gift card in order to help with my hospital bills. Not only that, they hacked my Facebook account, my LinkedIn account.
Oh my goodness.
Now I don't even know how they did this, but they was even calling some of my FEMA colleagues. They got in contact with people in Mississippi.
Wow.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
New York. I mean, I had people constantly calling me
Yeah.
And, people on Facebook sending me messages that, says, are you all right? Somebody contacted me about Amazon gift cards. And my friend that's in New Jersey, they got her name and her telephone number, and they hacked her account also.
Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, I mean, some of these hackers, they make this their full-time job. This is what they do. And obviously it must be successful because that's what they do. Instead of having a real job, they take a shortcut and do it this way. I'm really sorry to hear that.
I really want these people caught.
Yes,
also,
absolutely.
If there's any way that you can put some fire behind the Department of Unemployment to give me the last 2 weeks of the unemployment, so I can close that account. You see, because they have all of I'm a victim of identity theft, because they went into my account at will. When the Department of Unemployment straightened it out the first time, they went before the Department of Unemployment could get in contact with me to tell me that they had straightened it out. They did it again to me.
So wait, when you say they got access to your account, are you talking about your unemployment card?
Yes,
or are you talking about your bank account?
It was, Lord have mercy, if it was my bank account, if I had it credited to my bank account, I really would have been in trouble. But they could overcome the Department of Unemployment firewall.
Yeah.
And they had access to all of my information, including my Social Security.
Right. Well, you know what? I think what we could do is we could provide you a contact over at Department of Employment, the DOES. And
they know. I've been over there more than 10 times. I asked to speak to a supervisor. They don't provide it. The only thing that they say, well, I'll talk to my manager. And I've sent emails. I've done everything except for stand on my head.
Right.
I'm so frustrated.
Well, why don't you do this? Can you email to the elder justice at dc.gov? Just like give us your name, just some basic information, and then we can see if there's a contact over there that could at least answer your questions. I mean, that's something we can probably do, is connect you with somebody there. So if you could do that, that would be helpful, and then we can follow up with you.
Okay, I even talked to the fraud department, had the person to give me a letter as confirmation, and also too in the letter the dates that they still owe me. And this, I've been wrangling with them about this since August.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Again, I don't know everything that goes on over at Department of Employment Services, but like I said, maybe there's somebody I can connect you with that might be able to help. So if you provide me with your information, you email it to that email address. We'll see what we can do.
Okay.
There's no guarantees, but we'll do our best to connect you to somebody that might be able to help.
Okay. One more thing.
Yes.
Since I am a identity theft victim, and it was because I applied for unemployment, and that's how they got in contact. They hacked my account. I've asked, is there another way of that I can get like LifeLock to monitor my accounts and things, because of the Department of Unemployment that I've been hacked.
Yeah.
And if these people can get my contacts, I mean, they even contact people that I worked with in the past, but was not on my contact number. They was not on my contact list.
You know, I have to be honest, I'm not familiar with LifeLock, but I mean, is that something that helps protect your identity?
It puts it's a commercial a service that when you are a victim of identity theft, that they will put a notice out. In other words, I guess Experian, Equifax, and everything, Social Security, they have and plus, I guess they have a way of also too seeing if somebody opens up try to get credit or open up accounts with my Social Security and things of that nature.
So have you signed up for LifeLock?
No, because I'm still without funds, trying to wrangle the last weeks of unemployment from from them. So
well, let's see if we can start with step one and see what we can do about trying to figure this out with the unemployment. I don't know the ins and outs of how they're dealing with that scam fraud stuff. So that's something that, I'd have to inquire about who would be the right person to help with that. But like I said, if you email us with your information, if you could do your address, your phone number, just so we have your basic information, and then we'll see what we can do.
Okay. Yeah, because
thank you. And I'm so sorry to hear that you've been a victim of all that fraud, and it's just terrible.
Yeah, I'm still going through.
Okay, we've got a few more minutes. We still got others that are waiting. So the next person is Dina White. Go ahead, Dina.
Hi.
Hi.
My situation, make a long story short, I am being harassed in my home. I have been living in my home for 67 years as of last month.
Wow.
Paid for and everything. My grandmother left me this home, but I am attached, duplex. The home was owned by a husband and wife, and they passed. And the home was left to the son and his wife. Ever since then, this house has been nothing but a drug house. Now, my oldest son is 52. I have been living with this house being a drug these years.
Man.
I retired and had an accident. I'm handicapped in my home, and I should not have to be in here suffering like this. Now, the last tenants were Latinos, drinking, fighting, and carrying on, drugging, and whatever. And they were drunk and fell into my fence, knocked the fence over in my yard, along with the pole to my gate and everything. Well, and then they bothered to lift it. So that's my responsibility to fix it. The cement and everything started cracking up. So I was determined I wasn't going to fix it because you have the middle, half and half. So I didn't want to bother. But it's cracking up so bad, I'm having the work done now of cementing and everything. But when they left, I saw the owner. I told her, please give me some good neighbors, please. Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to scream. Now, this woman is older than me. She must be close to 80. I told her, please give me some good neighbors, please. She's then turned around and then put some people in here that she knows. And it's a drug house. I am dealing with another drug house.
Have you called the police?
These people smoke marijuana 24/7 all night long. My bed is against the wall connected to them. And they do it deliberate, smoke all night long, all day long. And for the past couple of weeks, they have been smoking something that smells like turpentine, pure, strong turpentine.
Yeah.
Now, I looked it up, I researched it, and it says that it's a marijuana that smells like turpentine. I don't know if it could be meth, it could be anything, but I'm tired of it. I have complained to the owner at least 10 times or more. See, all they care about is money. I'm quite sure these people are on vouchers. So all they cared about was getting their money. And the H with me, I have to suffer day and night. I'm tired mentally and physically.
Right.
I'm tired. I mean, they smoke that stuff. And when I called the owner, she said, well, it's nothing I can do because marijuana is legal. I don't care if it's legal. It's legal in their house. It's not legal in my house. I don't need to be, these are small homes. I mean, my whole entire home smells like marijuana, now turpentine. When they moved in December would be 2 years, they have been in this house, occupied this house. Now, when they moved in there, the daughter or somebody, they have a system that the music should be played outside, like these DJs and whatever play. Doom, 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 doom. The girl played it every day. I started listening. When her mother was about to come home, she turned that music off. So I complained to the owner then. This is when they first moved in. They have been harassing me ever since. I have an assistant. Now I live alone. I'm handicapped, but I can function. I care for myself. I have someone come in to wash my clothes and do my grocery shopping. That's all I need. Now, I had my assistant go to Costco's, big bulks of stuff, bringing them in my home. They standing outside and gonna harass her. Did you live there? And she was telling them no. You know, I thought they were asking her, do you need any help? And they gonna say, well, somebody complained about we play our music loud over here. And see, they had never seen me.
Yeah.
And I was sitting at the door and my instinct. And I told her, I said, you want to know something effing about me? Goddamn, you bring your ass over here, you talk to me, B. And I mean, I went off. I told her, bitch, I'll blow your brains out. Don't F with me. I've been through a lot in my life. I don't need this stuff. So that made them feel or see, it's somebody in here is not going to play with them. I'm not going to play with them. And I'm determined of that. But and then on top of that, they have a dog. Little teeny dog about big as a chihuahua. I don't know if they have trained that dog or what. That dog comes into my yard, up to my door, biting people that come to my house. I just made a carry-out order Sunday. The guy bringing the food to my door, the dog comes over. And the guy just stood still and the dog didn't bother him. But the dog comes in and be biting people on the leg, pulling on their clothes, that type of biting.
Right.
Now, I have reported the dog to the Humane Society. I guess they came or whatever, but I'm tired. I am so tired. I went to the doctor.
Dina,
I hadn't been to the
Dina,
doctor in 2 years.
Can I stop you for a little while, Dina?
Let me say this. I'm so stressed. I'm an only child. I don't have a lot of communication or whatever. And I hadn't been to the doctor in about 2 years due to COVID. I'm in a wheelchair.
I'm sorry about this. I apologize sincerely. I don't know how to get her to stop. We need to get her like some kind of a response so we can move on to the next person and get out of here.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't know how long this is going to go on for.
I mean, what I can do is I can, if I get your email address, I can send you some information on like pro bono legal resources. You know, I think those are not, okay, I see. So a DO on this chat is, he is our paralegal that works in the elder justice section. And so he's providing information in the chat. But in this case, if you give us your email address, we can email you resources for pro bono legal services. Now, you know, I can't guarantee what they can do for you, but you know, they would at least be able to give you some guidance as to maybe some strategies or things that you might be able to do legally. So if you just provide us with your email address, I can go ahead and send you information on pro bono legal resources in the district. I think that's the best thing you can do at this point.
Right. Thank you, Christine. We've got one more person who's been waiting patiently, Dolores Washington, and then we'll say goodbye because your time is up.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dolores. You're the last.
Okay. I just want to mention that day before yesterday, I received a text. And in this text, it say, "Hello, T-Mobile subscriber. Congratulations on your winnings of $3,000 for our ongoing monthly promo. Text Mr. Paul to claim your money now." And then it left a phone number 727-203-4243. So I didn't feel comfortable with that message. So I didn't touch anything. And then last night in the middle of the morning, about 2:30 in the morning, I received another text, and I'm trying to find it, from someone, you know, basically saying the same thing as far as me winning some money. And this one's about to say, "Hi, I'm Vincent. I'm writing to let you know that I may have an opening for a personal assistant who will potentially earn $1,000 weekly. Email is the best way to reach me." And then they got, you know, this Vince Popular, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And this was like 2:30 in the morning. So I'm wondering how, number one, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you said, very good, by the way, of you noticing that might not be quite the right thing. Again, if it's too good to be true, I mean, if someone's telling you won $3,000, chances are you know it's a scam. I mean, I guess in this case, what you could do is, I mean, you could report it to MPD. You could give them the numbers. They could, you know, look into it. That's not something my office would do, but you know, that's what I would recommend. And they might be able to investigate. And then if they can't figure it out, or if it's not something within their toolbox, you know, the FBI is also another resource to call.
Okay, so which one of those numbers you said I could call?
So, let's see. So Metropolitan Police, let's see. Hey, David, can you put up the financial crimes number again? Let's see.
Is in the chat?
Wait, it's in the chat. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Metropolitan Police Financial and Cyber Crimes, 202-727.
Yes.
4159. And
okay,
then
you can
also email them at mpd.fraud- so they're like a dash unit at ec.gov.
Okay, I see it.
And then for the FBI, I don't have their information. Let's see.
722.
I'd have to look that up. David, you don't have that information, do you?
I was just surprised to know that someone is sending me something like that 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not. The other thing you can do is just block the number. I mean, you can block those numbers. I know sometimes that you know, they'll find a way around that and just use a different number, but at least, I mean, that's something you could do if they're harassing you.
Okay, that'll work. Thank you very much. That's all that I had.
Or I'm sorry to hear that. My goodness. Yeah, I mean, like, it's rampant. These people, they're professionals. This is what they do. So let's see. We were David, our paralegal, was looking for the FBI's number.
Oh.
But I don't, let's see.
Legal counsel.
I don't have that information here with me. He says, looking now.
But I got the Metropolitan Police number, so I can call that number.
Yeah, and then they might be able, if they say, you know, this is not, oh, here we go. 1-800-225-5324 for the hotline.
1-800-225-5324.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, that'll work. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Sure. I hope you get some headway on that. But again, I would just block those numbers. At least that's a start.
Yeah, and I can see how people can get tempted. $3,000. $3,000, huh? Yeah. So
Sure. Absolutely. they know that they're gonna, you know, all they have to do is put their fishing line in the water and someone's gonna bite the hook, you know?
yeah,
They know that someone's gonna fall for it.
that's true. Well, not me, because I know that money don't come easy like that.
No, exactly. Remember I said, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Yep.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay, Christine, we just thank you for that such wonderful, informative, whatever it is, valued, how it's valued information.
Right.
Can the seniors all say thank you, goodbye?
Thank you, Christina. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you
If you
very
need any
much.
other
Thank
information,
you.
feel
And
free to call our hotline or
Thank you.
email us.
Thank you, Miss
Okay,
Christine.
thank you.
And
Appreciate
also, thank you to Alice Thompson once again.
Thank you, Miss
Thank you,
Alice.
Thank you, Alice.
Again.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
you,
you,
Alice.
Teresa. Really good
Bye.
information.
Bye.
Teresa.
Okay,
Yes, thank you,
Teresa.
Thank
you. Teresa.
I'm here. I'm here.
This is Jennifer Blackman.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
I'm sorry I'm late. I had a doctor's appointment, so I'm now coming on.
You got a lot of them downstairs, big ones.
You heard me?
Yes, I heard you.
All right. Sorry that I'm late.
But you can get a copy of the tape, so that you know, you can get caught up on what was said.
I didn't hear you.
Jennifer, just you can do that.
Say again.
Okay. All right, for all of you, I want to thank you so much for participating in the
Teresa,
program.
one thing I'd like to say.
Oh, go ahead, Adele.
The presentation, the lady gave 3 phone numbers. I have the phone numbers, but I don't know who they were to.
Hold on, Adele. There's so much background noise. Let me mute a few people, and once I've muted them, then we'll talk. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
All right. The lady presented 3 phone numbers and gave who they were to. I got the phone numbers, but I didn't get who they were to, except for one of them, which was the Adult Protection Service.
Okay, so tell me which one that you're missing.
I see one was 202-265-9100.
All right, let me look for that in the chat. 91265. I see.
And
That's
that
for the
Metropolitan Police?
Okay.
adult
Yeah, that's the
justice department.
MPD.
MPD, okay. And the other one is 202-541-39, and I didn't get the last 2 numbers.
All right, let me look and see where that's.
Adult hotline.
Okay. That's the Metropolitan Police Financial Crimes.
Financial, okay. And what's those last 2 numbers? 39.
39. So this one is 202-727-4159 for the Metro Police Financial Crimes. And you said there's the third one that you needed?
541-3950.
Okay, thank you. 3950.
541. Let me look and see if I can.
3950.
Okay, yes. That's
the
Adult Protective. Yes.
And what is that one for?
Adult Protective Services.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Adele. Thanks.
Very informative.
Thelma, you have a question? Go ahead, Thelma. You have a question?
Oh, Miss Teresa will let you know I have a bunch of doctor's appointments tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if I'll be here on time at 1 o'clock.
Okay, well, we'll see you when we can, and all the best on your health.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you so much. Okay.
You're more than welcome. Anybody else with any concerns before we end the meeting? Any more concerns? Yes, no? No? So everybody's happy?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Oh.
And you're happy, Ed?
Okay, we have a birthday. Don't we have a birthday today?
Diane
No,
Leach.
yesterday we had
Diane Leach. Yes, happy birthday to Diane.
Thank you
Happy
so much.
birthday, Diane.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
I'm younger than dirt and older than water.
Oh, Lord.
Happy 25th birthday, Diane.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
one of them
you.
old sayings.
Right. Also have some sad news for the FY21 group. Edwin Leak passed away. He was a member of the iPad program. And I'm bringing this up because he was an amputee. He lost his leg to what? What do you think he lost his leg to?
Diabetes.
There we go, diabetes. How old was he? Very young. He was in his 60s. He was in his 60s.
Oh, wow.
So please take care of your health. Make sure you're eating the right foods. Do what you should do to lengthen that life of yours.
Yeah.
You don't want to be losing seniors at such a young age.
Wow. No age.
Just wanted to touch note on that.
Yes.
All right.
We love you all. Everybody stay safe.
Yes, have a nice evening.
Thank you, and you too.
Be blessed, everybody.
Enjoy your birthday, Diane.
Thank you.
God bless everybody.
Okay,
Be
goodbye.
blessed.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
And good to
See
be
y'all
25.
around like a
Be
donut.
blessed.
Bye, Jennifer Blackman. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Teresa.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Everyone has a good one.
Okay.